Hey, why does a Ford suck ball? Because it's a goddamn Ford, that's why.
The answer is none of the above. Well, welcome everybody to Good Luck With That, episode 7.
7.
Yeah, with our second guest, our first call-in.
Yeah, so today we've got, this is our friend Chad Tompkins. We've known each other, all of us have been friends for a little while. We worked at a few places together. I guess, tell people who you are and what you do.
I'm Chad Tompkins, as he just said. I'm a mechanic. Been a mechanic since I was 18, 2004. So I work with Southwest Airlines right now. Currently, I'm a GSC lead out here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Ground support equipment.
Yeah, ground support equipment.
Brian worked at SGS, which we talked about before. And then he brought me in there after I got fired.
Yeah.
And then
I just saw an ad and I got in.
Got hired there.
Yeah, that place was something else.
So yeah, then Chad just got hired, and that's how we both met him.
Yeah.
I trained him a little bit, but
I think Brian was the lead, weren't you? Or you were the shop foreman or something like that? Yeah.
Untechnically, but yeah.
Yeah.
Only in responsibility and not in title.
But you weren't there that long.
No, it wasn't.
Anthony fired him because
Anthony is a douchebag.
So I don't remember where you went after then, because I didn't really talk to you much until I was started at Frontier.
Well, that's the thing. You left, and I was still at SGS.
Oh,
you left, and
That's
then
right.
you said, "Hey, we got an opening over here at Frontier." So
oh yeah,
that's when I came in for the interview with Nick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I quit SGS to work at Frontier.
Yeah.
For less money, but I had to get away from Anthony, so I just took the job. Actually, it was like at least $2 an hour less, I think.
Really?
Pretty big
I think
jump.
it was about the same for me, if not a little more.
I started
You were at
Frontier.
SGS a lot longer.
I started at like 16, or it was like 15.90 or something like that. SGS, I'd been there. Man, I don't know. Did I work there 2 years? I might have, because I was in vehicles for a while.
Yeah,
Then I was over in EW2 for a while. The old engine cell wing. And then I was back in the back after I got my last raise. So I think I was up to like 18 an hour or something. So we started there. I started at Frontier. I worked there for a little bit, and we had an opening for a mechanic. So I think I told both of you guys, but Brian was making more money because you were a lead, I think, or something. Whatever you were.
I ever had it in job title. I think I just had I had decent pay, but I think that was right around the time they let Chad go too. So I was like, yeah, Chad needs a job. I don't need a job. I'm here. And I don't want to work for a living, so.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, so I told Chad we were hiring mechanics, ground support mechanics at the airport. So he came out there, and then eventually you became my supervisor.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 months into Frontier, and then I went for that supervisor position and got it. That was pretty cool.
I tried to get it too, but
they fired
I'm
Chad.
telling you, I think that position of supervisor is the only reason I am where I am right now. Because the manager that hired me, he saw that title, and he's like, "Oh, we're hiring a guy from Frontier who got laid off, who was a supervisor."
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the only reason I got in where I am right now. But I'm blessed to get in where I am right now.
Awesome.
It's a golden ticket for a mechanic.
Yeah,
I can do what it is online.
I applied for it, and then also Casey applied for it, but he wasn't a manager. So then, yeah, I'm not good at like telling people, hey, you have to go do this right now. You have to get it done. Or like even telling them you got to work on this, or this has to get done. So I don't know that I would have been a good fit for it anyway. I'm more of
no,
like,
well, oh, for the supervisor position at Frontier,
yeah.
it was difficult. Casey was one of the difficult ones.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
more of like I work hard, but I kind of keep to myself.
Yeah.
Like my job now. I've been listening to these podcasts, man. These guys are talking about like history was wrong about extinction events and stuff and lost civilizations and all kinds of like uh extinction event meteors and floods, and they're showing all this evidence. And I just
Brian
listened
Stoddard.
to two of them, and they were 3 hours and 40 minutes each the last 2 days.
Was this Joe Rogan? Like,
It was Joe Rogan, but he wasn't smoking. Well, I guess he did in one of them.
yeah, he's definitely
But-
high off his ass. It's
No,
just
he's got like these expert geologists and stuff in there talking about it. But
he got fucking the Tesla guy to smoke weed with him.
yeah,
And
Elon
then
Musk.
Tesla guy
Yeah.
got fined a whole bunch of money by NASA.
He didn't.
Yeah,
Oh, was that what that was?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, he was smoking pot, and it's a federal offense to smoke marijuana. And he
Oh, I remember hearing about that, and I just listened to it like this week or last week. So I
Yeah,
didn't even
I
know
saw
that's
the
what that
video of it.
was.
I saw the video of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of SpaceX, they're actually going to do a launch tomorrow out here at Cape Canaveral in Orlando.
Oh yeah.
They're going to actually send up their boosters and not return them. This is going to be they're going to send them up and then disconnect from the boosters, and basically the boosters are going to explode. Or but it's a thing they're trying to do so they can do a manned crew on the rockets. So they're making sure their emergency can pull it off of the boosters.
Okay.
They think that it's like the Super Dragon is what they call it. It connects to the boosters,
Mhm.
and it's supposed to have enough thrust that it can get away from the boosters. So that's what they're testing tomorrow.
Oh, in case like a booster were to fail, it can
Yeah,
accelerate.
it can
past the boosters.
accelerate. It's kind of like an ejection seat for the cockpit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
Well, he
I
was
was kind of hoping that we could see it from where we're at. We'll see. It'd be
He was-
kind of cool.
he was talking about how he wants, like, his goal with that is he wants to be able. Sorry. He wants to be able to launch a rocket and then have it come back down and
You haven't-
land straight
You
up.
haven't seen it?
They do
I
They
haven't
have
seen him do
done
it.
He's done it like 20 times.
Really?
It's awesome.
Search the internet. It's amazing. Actually, I probably have it on my phone.
Corey, put it in right here. Put the video in.
Yeah.
Right there. Right there. Do it.
It's freaking. It's like something out of a sci-fi movie. It's so unreal. So
Yeah.
unreal.
It looks
It's
total
amazing.
CGI, and a rocket
It does.
comes in and just.
They're trying to land the main fuselage or something on a boat that's moving out in
Yeah.
the ocean, and it kept on missing the boat or exploding or not landing. But I think they got that pat down too, where it lands on the boat just fine now. It's kind of crazy though.
Awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That guy, if you listen to the podcast, he's got so many ideas. Like he's doing these solar panels that are like shingles. It's your whole roof.
Yeah.
He's got ideas for an electric plane that goes up into the stratosphere, and then when you're up there, you need almost no energy to fly.
Yeah.
But he's
The
like,
hardest thing you're saying about the plane is the weight, because the
Yeah.
batteries weigh so much.
he said, well, I'm not working on that because that's not important. What's important is within 12 years, if we don't greatly reduce our carbon emissions, then we're going to be in trouble. It'll be
Yeah.
like after 12 years from now, it's going to be irreversible or something like that.
Yeah.
Along
Well,
those
the problem-
lines.
There's another problem that they're using carbon fueling to make the batteries. So they got
Yeah.
to find a new way to make those batteries as well.
Yeah.
I think that the coal they use is the same amount, or if not more, to make a battery than it is to make a car. So, kind of crazy.
It's crazy that it's, I don't know. I know that when Laura went and got a new phone last weekend, they were talking about how the phone companies are making them send the phones back to them because they need the batteries.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
They're running out of lithium or something to make the batteries.
Yep. They recycle all that stuff now. It's amazing.
That's good.
What were we talking about? Yeah,
Well,
so
Elon Musk.
you were supervisor, And then we all got laid off. At Frontier, laid off like 1,200 people.
1,300 people. And the union, the thing that got me, well, I wasn't in the union because I was a supervisor, but the thing that got me is when the union came into this, they just said, it's just 12 guys.
Yeah. Well, I got laid off because I was in the union. I went to the negotiations and they didn't even talk about it.
Yeah. And that's Teamsters. I mean, Teamsters used to be a force to be reckoned with. And now they're not so much.
Yeah, you guys got shafted.
Teamsters used to be mobsters and stuff, man.
Yeah. So that kind of completely destroyed my view of unions. Like, I don't even know what the point of having our union was.
I tell you, the union I have now is strong. It's scary strong. I mean, the crap thing about the unions is, though, if you have a shit person working, that's who they're mainly covering, is that shit person.
Yeah.
The hardworking person's got to work harder because of that shit person, and union's covering that shit person. So it's kind of a win-win. I mean, or win-lose, because you also get the good pay out of it. So
yeah, you get the pay and the benefits and time off and all that stuff, but it also protects assholes.
That was one cool thing, is you knew exactly what your raise was going to be every year. You didn't have to fight about it, and everybody knew what everybody made. You didn't have to keep it secret or anything stupid like that.
Yeah, it's all in the book.
So we all got laid off. I went to Swissport for like a few months until the two mechanics that Frontier kept. Oh yeah, you were there too.
I was there too. They tried to make me lead there with no pay.
Yeah.
Huh, I've heard that story before, Chad. Weird.
They were trying to, because they bought all of Frontier's fleet for $2 million. So they bought the whole fleet, which is a lot. And then they were dispersing the fleet throughout their other cities. So they were putting me in charge of tearing them down because they're CNG and they wanted gas models and fixing those.
They ran on natural gas.
Yeah, and they were trying to figure out what cities these were all going to. So that was a giant pain in the butt.
Well, so Frontier kept two mechanics, and then they quit. So then they went back down the line till they got to me, and so I took my job back. So it was me and Pat over there. I
forgot you went back to Frontier.
And then Swissport was out not long after that. So then Frontier was ordering in new equipment because they sold all of it. They got rid of all of it except for a couple pieces. So then they were bringing stuff in all the time, and we were having to fix this crap they were getting in. And then we were
buying all that junk.
we were converting the ones that back to CNG to natural gas from gasoline. It was just a huge mess.
Yeah.
I guess it's better now. I guess they eventually went into that shop that we were supposed to get in the first place, that big one.
Oh, really? The Delta one, or who? I think Delta was in there.
DSG, yeah, for Delta was over there, and we were in that little tiny fucking closet,
that little hole in the
wall, in the hangar. So I guess they're over there now. But so I quit there. I found that job for Furniture Row Racing, and then I went there.
Yeah, that was a good move too. I mean, that's pretty cool job. Something to say, hey, I work for a racing team. That's pretty cool.
Man, I told him about.
I know I boosted about you. I'm like, hey, I got a buddy who works for them.
Well, I told him about it the other day, but I actually, after like 8 months, I mean, I don't know. I started trying to get a job in September of 2018. I flew out to North Carolina and I went to 20 different race shops trying to find something, handing out resumes. I had a couple that I almost got. I went and had like 2 interviews with Penske, Joe Gibbs, kinda, and then like a month ago, I got an email from Joe Gibbs that said, "Hey, we got a job. If you want it, you can have it." A month ago from now.
Oh, really?
And I was like, "Hell yeah, I want it. Let me ask my family and make sure everything's still cool." And I told Laura, and she's like, "Well, I'm not going."
Oh no.
She's like, "I thought I made that clear." And I was like, "Well, obviously you didn't, because I was still looking for racing jobs out there. We looked at houses out there." So anyway, I had to write him back and tell him I didn't want the job.
Tell Coach Gibbs to fuck off.
Fuck off. So
Coach Gibbs came and kicked him in the nuts for it.
I got a job now. I'm working at a restoration shop. I'm the painter over there because there was a head painter, and then he quit, so now I'm the head painter.
Nice.
It's
Also,
just,
he works at the massage parlor next door after hours.
there's a Asian lady
Yeah,
massage
happy.
parlor across the way.
He gives out $5 rub and tugs.
Right.
I want to know how much it is. I mean, is it like comparable to regular massage, or is it like $500? I don't know what.
I was curious.
Look at the type
Probably
of
whatever's
people
in
that
your
go
pocket
in
at
there,
the time.
Corey. Do they look like they can afford $500 rub and tugs?
I think they should have a menu with the prices. And
A secret menu.
I'll take this number 3 special.
Yeah.
So I turned that down. I'm a painter. I had an interview at Lockheed Martin to paint satellites and spaceships and stuff.
When
That's
was
cool.
this?
Right before I started where I am now, I had an interview.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably the beginning of last year.
I think we talked about that one before. Maybe not on here, though.
And this place is secure because it's like Lockheed Martin space. So I go in there to the guard shack and he's like, you have your ID? Here you go. Do you have something else that they asked for? Here you go. He's like, do you have your birth certificate? I'm like, no, I didn't bring my birth certificate. How am I supposed to know I need that? So
I
he
didn't know I needed that day.
So he says, all right, I can give you this pass, but it's restricted. All you can do is drive in here and go in the parking lot. You can't go anywhere. You can't walk anywhere. So I went in the parking lot, and I don't know where to go. Like, I have no idea, and I don't have the card I need to open the doors to the buildings. So I called a bunch of people. I probably called like 3-4 people before I finally found someone that said, yeah, go into this building. So I had to go up to the door and like, hey, let me in. Anyway, the interview went good. They were going to hire me, but there was another guy that had come from another space program that they hired instead. So I'm going
I know SpaceX is hiring.
Well, no one here will move with me.
Yeah.
I
I think that's crazy because Colorado, I mean, the pricing out there has gone through the roof. The equity you have on that place right now is probably crazy.
Yeah, we stand to make like $200,000 on this house.
Yeah, exactly.
But
buy a bedroom house.
You could go somewhere else and buy a house and be debt free, or at least house payment free.
to get, well, we looked at a house. It had a 3-car garage, and it was pretty good. We probably would have bought it, but it was $400 or $430, and for it to bring the payments down to what we're paying now, because we're only paying like $800, but we got new windows, a new door, a new furnace, new AC. So we're paying $1,500 a month on the house and all the crap in it. And now the microwave's broken. But to bring the payment of that house down to what we're paying now, we'd have to put $150,000 down.
Yeah, but if you have $200,000 in equity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not good at math, but even I know that'll work.
Yeah.
Well, we got to pay all this stuff off, all the windows and crap.
Oh.
You probably did a mortgage to pull all that out, I guess, huh?
Well, she just refinanced the house the other day, so we're going to get some money to pay all that stuff off, so it'll be done. And our payment will be like, instead of $800, it'll be like $870 or something. So
You can handle that.
yeah.
Steph just found our insurance. We've been paying like double insurance for the last 3 years. So it knocked us down from an ISO 10, which is the lowest rating, to an ISO 6 because of how far we are from like fire department, stuff like that. So it knocked off almost half of the insurance bill every year, from like $1,500 to $800. And they're going to go backdate it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Hell yeah, man.
My insurance company took the insurance off my car and they backdated it back to November. So
The insurance out here it's hard because we're in a hurricane zone, so there's not very many insurances that'll insure you.
Uh-oh.
And when they do, it's not cheap.
No. You guys own a place now, don't you?
Yeah, we just bought this 4 months ago.
I saw the live stream on Facebook. I watched it for a while. I didn't get all of it, but
Yeah.
That was like the initial tour or something, wasn't it? I don't remember anything being in there.
Yeah, we right behind me you can see that hole right there. The drywall's all messed up.
Yeah.
That was actually a wall that went all the way down that way. And that was the first thing we did is knock that wall out because it made it like 2 living rooms and it was ridiculous.
Is that the Harry Potter wall?
Yeah, the Harry Potter wall.
Okay. Because it was 9 3/4.
9 3/4 tall. I didn't go all the way to the ceiling. So we knocked that out before we even moved furniture or anything in and made it way more bigger. I just need to hire somebody to do the drywall now.
Cool.
I don't want to do it.
That's the only thing I didn't do when the basement flooded: drywall and carpet. No,
forget
okay,
drywall. I was like, why am I going to go buy all the tools to do it when I could just pay somebody to do it? It costs probably the same, if not less, maybe.
Go down to Home Depot one morning and be like, I got $50. Come on.
We actually got one of our friends, her dad does drywall, so we just need to give him a call and send him some pictures and hook it up.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, I had another place in Fort Lauderdale, or they're by Fort Lauderdale. They're called the Creative Workshop. It's a restoration shop.
Yeah.
But they wanted me to come down. The guy actually called me a couple 3 months ago or so, and he was going to fly me down there for a week to do like a work trial.
Like a working interview?
Yeah, but nobody wants to move, so I had to turn him down too.
It was a difficult thing to talk to my wife and kids to move away from everything and everybody they know. The one pro for me was doubling my salary or doubling my pay. So
yeah.
Whoa.
It's kind of hard to say no to double the pay.
Hey, we'll double your pay. You just got to move to Florida.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, mine wouldn't have been double. It would have been like $3,000. It'd have been like $3,000 more, but it would have been salary instead of hourly.
Well, see, if you would have came down here, then I could have gotten you this last position that we just gave up.
She really didn't want to go to Florida because, like, her and Gwen are allergic to mosquitoes or something.
They're big.
I wish this thing wasn't so fat.
And Florida has a lot of stuff that'll kill you, doesn't it? They have like pythons and alligators and all
Yeah, but I
sorts
haven't even seen any of them. We went on an airboat ride last year during the summer, and that was the first time I saw an alligator. It was on the airboat ride. They were nesting and whatnot. But we have a creek behind our house. I don't see any snake, or canal, I should say. I haven't seen any snakes yet. We see iguanas. We got a giant iguana in the backyard.
I saw that video.
Right? Lots of little lizards that run
Oh,
around.
yeah, there's little lizards all over the place. I have geckos in the house. What's
We had
that?
a gator. When I was a kid, we went to Tampa area a lot with some friends, and we stayed at their house. There was like a gator in the little retention pond in the neighborhood, and little lizards everywhere.
Yeah, the lizards are everywhere. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, in our canal, we fish it. We've only really gotten Mayans out of it. There's peacock bass, largemouth bass, tilapia. It's crazy because I watched this YouTube video of this guy that lives down here in Miami, and the stuff he's pulling out of these canals is nuts. He's pulling out red-tailed catfish that are freaking huge, pacu, which is like piranha but with molars instead of sharp teeth. Giant 40-pound pacu he's pulling out of these canals and stuff. So
Wow.
people just let their pets free when they get too big and they throw them out in the canal, and then they spawn. And
plus Hurricane Andrew.
Oh yeah, and Hurricane Andrew, when that came through, a lot of the pet stores they got knocked over, and zoos too. Yeah. And then the pythons.
Got it right.
The pythons are crazy because I mean they're paying like $1,000 a python for you to go out and kill them.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. So like the one guy we went on the airboat ride with, he's also a python hunter. So while we were out in the airboat, he goes, "You smell that?" We're like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's a musk from a snake." So like he wanted to go hunt it right then and there.
You're
But
like, no.
Yeah, I think he didn't he? Yeah, he marked it on his GPS. so he could come back and try to find it.
Oh, jeez. F that noise, man. No thanks.
In the water? They could come out of the water? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
They come out of the toilet, Corey, and they're like...
They go up your butt.
I saw a video the other day of a crocodile climbing over, or an alligator climbing over a chain link fence.
Nope. Oh, fuck that noise. I'm out. Nope. See ya.
Well, I guess over down the street from us is so there's a big berm, and on the other side of the berm is the Everglades. And we go down there and go fishing, and one day we were down there fishing, and pops up ahead of an alligator, and he's right there where we were fishing. So I guess I have seen him a little closer than just the airboat.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of prairie dogs. There's
They'll
like
kill you faster than an alligator.
There's like hundreds of them out there, like behind the school by our house, and we walk around the path.
Yeah,
it's
they're crazy
ridiculous.
out there. I mean, our property out there, that was nuts. That's all we, like on the weekends, we go out and just go target practice on the prairie dogs.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh, man.
The guy that was my sister's, my brother-in-law now, he went out there and shot him, and then he'd bring him up and put him in the trash can. I'm like, leave him out there for the foxes. It's disgusting.
So my truck, so my car's broke. I'm driving my truck. I'm sure you've heard if you've been listening to these.
Yeah.
So I have all the paperwork together that I need to send to the lawyer is what's going on now. I've been collecting paperwork and all kinds of crap all week. I have it all. I'm just waiting until I have time to sit down. I got to scan it all and then attach it to an email, try to organize them to explain what everything is, and write him an email that tells the story of the whole thing so that he can see everything. Actually, I read through the contract the other day, and I think I'm in the right, because it said the only thing it said about aftermarket parts is that they don't warranty aftermarket parts.
Yeah.
Pretty standard.
Other than that, they cover all internally lubricated parts. It even says pistons right on there. Anyway, so I'm sending that off probably tomorrow, and then it's up to him to review it all. $300 an hour. So then
Chad,
Monday.
good job now.
Yeah. Monday I go to start the truck, and I know it's not dead. Well, I had it plugged in. Laura plugs it in at 5 when she gets up, and then I get it in at 7 and drive it. So I get in there and I get click. And it's not dead because, the lights, everything is on. The gauge is right. So I'm like, click, click, click. I'm like, son of a bitch. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm staying home, and I got to get this thing over to there's a shop like right down the road that I take my stuff to. And I'm just like, click, 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 click. My hand hurts. Click, click, click. And then all of a sudden, I'm doing it fast now. So it's like, click, 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 boom. Oh, and it fires. It scared the crap out of me.
Jesus.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to work. So I drove it to work. It started up after work. It started up Tuesday. Coming home. Wednesday, just click, 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 click. So I've been dealing with that. It takes so long to get this truck started now. So I go to leave work today, and I'm just clicking it just like normal because it's a normal thing now. And then all of a sudden I'm like, man, it's been a long time.
God damn it. Start.
So I run inside, I grab a hammer, come back out, and I hit it a couple times, try it doesn't work. And there's still a guy there that I work with, so he comes over to help me. So he turns the key, and then I whack it, and it fires right as soon as I hit it. So I drove it to the place. They're going to put a starter in it. I almost want to keep that starter. That thing's been in there for 30 years, 29 years.
That's a pretty legendary starter. I think you got your money out of that thing.
Well, and there was a time when it was sucking air in the fuel lines, and you had to crank it for like a half hour before it start.
Yeah.
And it still was working till. I might keep it and get it rebuilt. So I got it to the place, and I'm like, well, how much is it going to be for you to do a thermostat? Because I have 50 to 60% of the radiator blocked off with a piece of cardboard to get that thing to warm up.
That's just a normal Cummins, dude.
I've never had to do that before. It's always been fine. I don't know. So I have him do a thermostat and shocks. I'm going to have shocks I don't even
Why?
think the shocks. I don't even think I had shocks when we got it 20 years ago.
Shocks. The thing rides like a freaking rock, man.
Yeah, but I've been paying more attention to it. It's been like this, it's ridden like that. We got it in 2000, and it's always been the same. But on these roads out here, they're so fucking bad, and it's just like it's kind of when I hit something, it's like
Jolting.
Yeah, it kind of bounces for a second. Sometimes it'll bounce the fucking tires off the ground, and you'll move sideways a little bit. So
I thought that was just the suspension not moving.
it doesn't move, but I don't know.
You need to put like 500 pounds in the bed.
It rides nice then, but my main thing is I'm hoping it's going to help the steering because I'm thinking it's oscillating a little bit, and then I have to chase it around to keep it straight.
The good old death wobble.
No, I just have to like stay ahead of it because it kind of wanders a little bit.
Your gearbox is probably loose. I think you can tighten those ones up.
I did that.
Yeah.
And at first I did it too tight and it was hard to turn.
Oh, yeah.
So I turned it down a little bit.
Little turns. Little increments.
It's probably 40% better, but it's still kind of, you got to have both hands and you got to be ready for it. So I was like, fuck, just do it. Just do it. Get it done. I might be driving this thing for another year. Who knows how long it's going to take.
That's what I'm saying. I think you should just go get a little 4-cylinder shit box to drive around. Something cheap and easy to fix.
Some Volkswagen,
No, fuck a Volkswagen. Get a Honda Civic, man. Get a nice little Honda Civic. 4-door.
$500. That's all I want.
Civic EX. There you go.
I'll sell you a Comanche.
I don't have any money left. So
you'll have to go work at the rub and tug place and earn some money to rent the shit box. He's like, that's not so bad.
I wonder if any and how many females would go into places like that.
No,
probably none.
They're not going in there, dude.
They'd rather go. They could go to a bar and get it for free rather than girls. It's easy.
Rubbing dudes. You rubbing dude.
They're rubbing dudes. Yep, you're rubbing dudes. Better get pretty. Put the lipstick on.
Corey's like, it's not funny. This is sad. I hate you guys.
It's not funny. I only did it once.
One of the guys I used to
$20
work
for a
with.
starter to get home.
One of the guys I worked with, he says, I try it once a year to make sure I still don't like it. Hell, I'm out.
Yeah. Oh, I was listening to Ron White the other day, and he's like, I thought about being gay. I thought it sounded like a great idea till it was my turn. Turns out I'm not gay. Yeah, it's funny.
I don't understand why Corey doesn't put his own starter in. It's like 3 bolts.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Why aren't you putting your own starter in? Why are you paying so much for it? Come on, you had like 50-degree weather today.
It was like 60-mile-an-hour winds.
That's all right.
Both.
You're underneath the truck. Don't you have a garage?
No, I don't. I'd have to do it at work, which means I would have had to go buy the starter and then take it to work. They put these lifts up, right? Because we were supposed to get 2 of the mechanics from the mechanic shop over to our shop because our shop doesn't make enough money. So they put 3 new lifts up, and I put my car up on there to do the brakes. And I had it up there, and I walk around, get tools or something, and I come back, and I'm looking down, and I see that the nuts that hold the lift posts up aren't tight.
Oh,
like,
God.
Maybe a couple of them are, but one of them's all the way up to the top of the stud. And my car is up there, so I turn them down, and I put my impact on them.
Then it fell over.
So, I'm kind of afraid to put my truck up there, because that thing weighs like 7,000 or 8,000 pounds.
You just do it on the ground.
I know. I'm fucking lazy because I don't have a garage, so I couldn't do anything for so long until I got this job. I've only been here like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then they wouldn't let us do it for a while because the mechanics at the other shop were crying because they didn't have keys to the shop and they couldn't work on their stuff. So eventually I just got keys when I did my brakes right before Thanksgiving, and then my car broke. So it wasn't even that long ago that I could start working on my stuff again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can put the shocks on too, but the starter's all greasy and I don't want to touch it.
I don't want to get dirty. I'm a painter now.
Yeah, right.
I don't get dirty. I have to wear a suit.
Wear a white
my exhaust fell off on the way home the other day.
I had that happen.
Driving down the road.
I've had that happen. That's awesome. I was driving.
Luckily, one of my guys that I work with was right behind me, so he had to dodge it. He's like, "I'm not following you anymore. Parts are falling off your truck."
Well, I was driving to SGS and the pipe rusted off around the turbo on my truck.
Oh yeah,
And it just fucking fell off. Somehow I got it like tacked up back up to it on the rust, and then I got the exhaust that I have now that I put on at Frontier. So it was like that until I got new exhaust at Frontier.
It was like that for a while, and then when I borrowed it, I think it had the new exhaust, and it shook everybody's windows.
It's
awesome.
so loud. It's so
you can hear the thing almost a mile away.
I've been looking at these mufflers. It's like the name's called Aero something for diesels.
He's
and all it,
so old.
Huh?
You're getting so old.
Oh, I just want to take the
muffler on this truck. It's too loud.
I just want to take the piercing edge off of it. Because, like, I got these things in, which are essentially earplugs, and I can hear it. I can hear everything that's going on. It's
that's valve. That happens. That's normal.
I can just imagine being in the car next to me, right in front of my pipe, when I at a stoplight when we take off.
They hate you. They fucking hate you.
Everybody here, all the houses around me hate me. Like, I'm afraid to start it more than like 5 to 10 minutes before I leave.
You're gonna have to push it down the hill. Start it while it's rolling.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I've gotten old too because this new truck I have, an F-150 2006 F-150, and I'm totally dadding it. I'm not putting a lift on it. It's got a leveling kit. I might put one size bigger tires on it, but that's about it. I'm not gonna lift it. And the exhaust, I'm buying a new exhaust. It's quieter. I don't know. I'm going completely
too loud.
Completely dad on it.
Well, this guy,
that guy
just cut a hole in his. Is he over there for you? He's over here for me.
Yeah,
he cut a hole in his new fender.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was
Crazy,
awesome.
Man. You're crazy.
It was awesome.
Is that so?
Out.
You got a Colorado then, huh?
Yeah, I got a 2019 Colorado Bison Edition.
Yeah. We have at my shop. We have a bunch of those Colorados. We
like them.
Yeah. Besides the ramp destroying them and denting them to craziness.
Yeah,
but other than that, they've been doing pretty good. So we switched to my company. We don't do Fords, we do all Chevy, so everything's Chevy.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, our shop truck is a big old Silverado. Pretty awesome. Brand new 2019.
Yeah, I love this little truck. I've taken it all over already, and it's awesome. Does everything I ask it to. It's like basically the top of the line for Colorado, which, I mean, it's like first in the Special Olympics, but
well, I was doing watching reviews on that because I was thinking about getting a new truck, and I was thinking about the Ranger, and I watched a video about the Ranger and the Colorado, and they were saying go with the Colorado over the Ranger.
Yeah, I think the Colorado is one of the most well-rounded currently. I was looking at the Gladiator really hard, but the price on it's crazy, and they're having a lot of issues. Imagine that, a Fiat Chrysler issue. Yeah, not like we noticed that
issues.
Yeah. So, and the price was another $15,000 on top of this truck, what I paid for my truck. So I was like, I can't do it. Sorry, Colorado. It's been great. Every review, everything I read, everything I found, everybody loves them. So I'm pretty happy.
Cool. I haven't broke down to make another car payment.
Well, no, I didn't have a choice. Unfortunately, a deer decided I needed a car payment, so I got.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for one of these crazy Floridians to just rail in the side of me, and then I'll get a new truck.
To buy you a car. I got a toy.
Look at that thing. Is it a sled?
All in one picture.
Oh.
Is that a backboard for?
They're traction boards. I got
Oh.
but you can drive on them. You know, if you get stuck, you put them under the tires.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I got 4 of them in the mail today. I'm really excited about them. I want to go practice with them this weekend and get stuck and see if I can get out.
Stuck and see if you can get out.
And then
Are
when
you putting
I'll walk
a
home.
topper on the back?
No, I don't have a topper. I'm working. So, story time with Brian. This week, I found a Tepi tent, Tepui, whatever, Tepui, and a CBI rack for my truck in Vegas for $1,200. So Thursday, I almost drove to Vegas to get this thing because that's like less than half price of new, and it was new.
How far is that from where you live?
8.5 hours.
Not too bad.
That's probably about how far it is from here.
It's about $200 worth of fuel round trip. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm on my way. But the guy sold it when me and Steph were talking about it. So that made that easy. But I have plans to build a rack. Ooh, I've been drawing my plans this week. Let me see if I got a copy. Yeah. I'm working on a plan. So that's the side profile. That's a tent. And those are bars that I can put like lumber on, or I can put kayaks or whatever on. That's the storage for the little whatever those traction boards are called. So it's got 2 bars. Fancy. I've been playing with that. I got my notebook here that I've been writing my notes in for all sorts of stuff. I'm getting old, so I have to write stuff down now. Otherwise, I don't remember it.
So Vegas is 12 hours from where I am. It's 765 miles.
That's too far. It's only like 500 miles for me. But it's
Yeah,
all
for me, it's a 5 or 6 hour flight.
Yeah.
Jesus, really? No.
Yeah, from here to Denver is 4 hours.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half to 2 hours to Vegas from here.
Yeah, I did fly to Vegas from Denver once with Terry.
Mm-hmm.
It was horrible. But, yeah, we did that.
That's cool.
I flew on the race team's private jet to Vegas and back.
That's cool.
Me and Laura did. Like, there's no security. You just walk on there with whatever you want straight out into the airplane.
You were like, man, should I put my GAT away? You're like, no, private. Like,
bring it on.
And he's like, nah, I want to check that out while we're flying now.
I want to shoot some stuff while we're flying.
I had a buddy, he works for an oil company, and he got to take their private jet to New Orleans or something, and he was boasting about it. So the next time I got on one of our planes, I was like, well, I'm taking one of my company 700 private jets to Florida.
I'm going to taxi around in it on the airfield. Watch this. Corey's just getting drunk over there.
Only had 2. I was just saying earlier, I was talking to Laura about, I find it really hard to actually drink more than 2 or 3 beers a weekend.
Since I moved down here, I haven't gotten drunk once.
Well, especially since NASCAR got over, because that's normally when we drink, because we got like 3 hours to sit and watch something. So it's just like, beer after beer.
Might as well drink.
I don't drink anymore.
Like I said, 3 on a weekend is pretty good for me now. Well, because like tonight,
I took my injection, so maybe I can have a beer this weekend.
Like tonight and Saturday night are my nights to do this and then edit this and try to upload this and then do the other channel if I'm doing that.
Look, he's gonna go get a beer.
So I don't want to drink too much because then I'll be tired and I won't be able to get work done.
Yeah.
So then
Sunday,
Sunday,
switch from beer to whiskey.
I got a bottle of tequila the other day because I wanted to make margaritas, and man, I must have gotten a good one or something because holy crap, I hadn't actually like been hungover for a long time. That was the first time in a while.
So every year, my company, they hold this thing called a lead meeting, and only the leads get to go to it. So last year was in Nashville, and we went. They rented a whole bar out just for us. So we had the whole top level of the bar. We had a cigar bar, a whiskey bar, and then all you could drink whatever, and food and everything. And then after they closed down that, we went bar hopping. That was the last time. I was pretty hungover that night. That was the last time I was hungover. May of last year.
Now that I think about it, it was 2017, the NASCAR awards in Vegas. I don't know, because we got to go to 2 free parties, like the Monster Energy party.
You texting me random pictures or something that day. I was like, yeah, Corey's drunk. Awesome.
I don't remember doing that.
I know you don't.
There was a Monster party where everything was free there, food, drinks, full bar. And then there was
Did they have drywall for you to punch?
A what?
Drywall for you to punch after you drink Monsters?
No.
No. And then from there we went to the Toyota party. Which was free also. So, and it was Vegas. So when I left, I had 2 and all the way to the hotel. And I kind of remember like spilling them all over the carpet in the hallway. Because it was a long walk through the hotel. It was like a mile-long hotel. I don't know. It's so long.
Yeah.
Spilling them all over the place. And then, I don't know. Laura said, like, I took a bath. I don't even remember. But we had to get up and get to the airport so we get on the plane, the private plane again.
Private plane.
Oh, man. That was pretty bad. Beer?
Awesome sauce.
Whiskey.
I'm cheersing.
Oh, wait.
This is my favorite whiskey from Colorado, and it's made in Texas.
Oh, look, you can still see me.
What kind of whiskey is it from Colorado that's made in Texas?
So this is called Rebecca Creek. It's really good stuff, but I can't find it anywhere else but the liquor store out in Colorado. Probably a liquor store in Texas, but
neither one of which are exactly that close to you.
No. So I have a giant bottle of it on top of my refrigerator.
There you go. I fixed the Snowcat.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
It works. I fixed it, and it went home.
There you go.
I fixed it all up. The guy came and picked it up on a tow truck, a rollback. And I have the little doorbell video camera that I was watching this. I was like, oh, stop that. What are you doing? He like cranked on it and it wouldn't start because he didn't use a glow plug. So he just kept cranking on it. And I was like, don't burn that starter up. It's brand new. Don't burn that starter up.
Shouldn't he know?
Wow. I'm like, dude. So he gets the thing running and it runs for about 10 seconds. He lifts the blade and he's like fucking taking off. And I'm like, what are you doing? You gotta slow down. Please stop. And he backs the thing up to the tow truck, getting it all loaded, And he gets it like halfway on, and then the tracks just start spinning. So it's going clankety, clankety. I'm like, ah! Like, it's not my problem because I have all this on video if he fucks something up. But, like, I still don't want
to have to fix it again.
Yeah. Like, so the dude was really cool. He got it loaded, tied down. He actually came by the shop and brought me the cash for the job from someone. The guy I did the work for is out of country, and it was like the most random thing I've ever been a part of, but I made good money, and it's fixed.
Yeah, as long as you got paid, I guess.
I got paid. So, okay, I know he doesn't do side work. Chad, do you do side work at all?
It's been a while. I have a 2-car garage here, but it's so full of stuff that I haven't taken anything on.
Yeah.
So since I moved out here now.
I stopped doing side work, and then this guy was like, hey, I need this done. And he's kind of a friend, so I was like, okay, cool, I can do this. Like, I'll help you. So I charge $50 an hour for side work, which I thought was, like, pretty fair. Like, I thought that was, like, everybody at work I talked to was like, oh, yeah, I charge at least $80 an hour for side work. I was like, what the fuck, 80? So, what's your guys' take on side work rates?
So the way I used to do it is whatever shop I was working at, what their hourly rate was. So if it was $100 an hour, I'd half it.
Yep.
That'd be what my rate would be. So mine was up to like $50 an hour. That's what usually I did as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's last time I worked in like a shop, it was like 130 an hour. I don't know. I just kept it 50 an hour. It felt reasonable.
Yeah, I always thought that was reasonable for me too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are dependent on the side work, it'll make sure that people come back.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm not like dependent on it. It's nice to have a little extra spending money, but at the same time, I'm not. My goal in the next year is to not be in my garage any more than I absolutely have to be, and to be out doing what I want to do. So I don't know. I felt like it was fair, and they were like, oh yeah, at least 80 an hour. But I also charge actual time. So like, even if a job say pays 3 hours, if it takes me 5 for whatever reason, I charge actual time, not flat rate.
Yeah. See, I was charging flat rate or book time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
But
don't have any way to know book time anymore.
I used to have access to all data, so I just looked it up on all data. Now all I have is Mitchell.
Yeah. And most of the stuff I work on anymore, there is no all data time. It's all custom equipment, BS. Like,
you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, I'm sure you have issues, all weird, rigged up, no manual bullshit.
You got vehicles that are built in somebody's freaking backyard in Atlanta.
Yeah. We get chassis cabs from like International, but then they go to an outfitter, to get a bed and all the other crap put on them. And no two trucks are the same, even though they're supposed to be the same.
Yep. Oh, I hear you. Yeah, we got the same thing going. And then what really is crazy, so we have these things called bag tugs. And you buy these things brand new, $60,000. They come to your shop.
Little giant lawnmower things?
$60,000. They come to your shop broken. The freaking hose clamps are not tight. The power steering pumps aren't working. The power steering reservoir is too far away from the power steering pump, and they're burning up. And so you got to do all these mods to it before you can even send it out.
We do that all the time. I had a $125,000 loader-mounted blower head, so it's got an engine in it. That was the weird off-brand Cummins one, the gray market Cummins thing. The dude had to come out and modify it before we put 1 hour on it. So he came down from Denver. He cut a little hole in the top where the after treatment is on top, and then threw a second layer so we could fill it with oil. He just cut it and then put like a ghetto hinge on it. I'm like, what the fuck? And then another piece, he just kind of added some random metal in. Like, he fucked this thing up hard. And he's like, oh, all right, well, I got to do this still. And I had to stay late that night. And I was like, nope, you need to leave. I'm done. Just tell me what needs to be done, because this is fucking Christ, man. Give me a steak that would be better.
That's how all that equipment was at the airport. There's been so many people that work there, and they don't care about it. It's just get it done and get it back out. As long as it works the way it's supposed to, who cares? It was just all butchered together over so many years that you couldn't troubleshoot it the way you normally would, because there's that one wire that runs through there that somebody ran just to hotwire it.
Yep.
Well, and that's the thing. So it's a lot different where I'm at now versus Frontier.
Yeah.
Frontier, we were putting a lot of Band-Aids on. A lot of Band-Aids.
Yeah.
But this place that I'm at now, I mean, they make enough money that if it's broke, go buy a new one. So I still have the guys that work underneath me. One of them, he's super bad at saving parts. Like, oh, we could use a part off of that later on down the road. I'm like, no, we have enough money that if we need a new part, we'll just order a whole new one. So I have to drum that into their heads, is just order a new part, because I'm not dealing with the breakdowns later on down the road. I just want it to be fixed right the first time.
We have a whole room at our shop called the Gold Room.
Oh, yeah?
Full of that kind of crap. Oh, this stuff is gold. They don't make it anymore. There's a reason they don't make it anymore. Throw it away.
Because it's a piece of junk. Yeah, when we, because we, this brand new facility out here, that's the whole reason we moved out here. So we were at the contractors, or we had a contractor that was out here dealing with all the GSE out here first. And so they had all the parts that were supposed to go on shelves and stuff like that. So I'm going through all that. And there's just used parts after used parts after used parts. And I'm throwing stuff away. And he's like, no, we need to keep that. I'm like, no, we'll buy it new when we get it. So I went through a lot of the stuff and threw it away before we even moved to the new shop.
Awesome. Yeah. Our shop needs to do that. They need to bulldoze it.
And then build it back up.
And build a new one. So my bay, we have jib cranes. Are you familiar with jib crane? It kind of just spins from one spot.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, the ice trucks have those.
Yeah, it doesn't turn over my bay.
Oh, really?
It turns. You can, if you need to take like the right front headlight off, you can do that. That's it.
Oh, really?
So I did. I was doing truck springs on a Mac this morning, and I'm using like 2 come-alongs to hold it up from the frame and like move it with. And they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Getting these springs out because they weigh about 150 pounds, and I don't want to kill myself." "Oh, just use the crane." I'm like, "Yeah, the crane hasn't reached over here since the day it was installed. How am I going to do that today?" It starts hitting like the HVAC, and it hits a sprinkler head. There's one sprinkler head that's folded over from the guy before me. Like, it's awesome. They were talking about building us a new shop on the other end of town, and across the state, a bunch of the shops are getting replaced. And the deputy superintendent of something, whatever, like the second in charge of the whole operation, came out and was like, "This is the worst shop I've ever seen.
Oh, jeez.
We need to get you guys in something now." We're like, thanks, man. We've been trying our best."
Asshole.
It's an old car dealership that they turned into a truck shop, which not big enough, not enough room.
I tell you, opening a new shop was a new experience for me. So I've never done that before. And pretty much they put it in my hands. Here's a new shop. Make it what you want. And I felt like a teenager leaving my parents' house for the first time, and you realize you don't have a trash can. So I was spending money like crazy, and I was just waiting for somebody to come down up or higher up and go, "What are you doing?" So
we needed trash cans. I need toilet paper.
Speaking of trash cans, have you ever tried to order a trash can off of Granger? Holy shit!
Retarded expensive too.
I couldn't believe it. Like $800 for a trash can. Go fuck yourself. I'll go to Home Depot.
Yeah. We use Grangers for a lot, and some stuff you get on there, you're kind of like, how do you guys make any money? You just sold me a gallon of RV antifreeze, $3, and shipped it in individual boxes. I bought 128. Like, what is wrong? What? And then you need like 3 bolts, and they're $415.
Yeah, that's where they make the money.
I've only been in one of those one time.
I've never been in a Granger's.
There's one.
They're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's off of Havana and 70 somewhere. Anyway. Chad, are you still supervisor over there?
So, no, I'm not supervisor. I'm lead. So.
Oh, okay. So, like shift lead or like shop lead?
I'm the shop lead because we only have one shift right now.
Oh, okay.
My manager is actually located in Orlando, so I'm manager, lead. I'm doing it all. I still have a manager, but everybody comes to me. I mean, the ramp comes to me, Provo comes to me, everybody comes to me.
Oh, the ramp too?
You turn wrenches, or are you in an office?
I've got an office, I've got a shop, the whole nine.
So you do both. You turn wrenches and
I got to do all the paperwork. So, like, every year we have to do these stickers for the airport to get the equipment onto the airport. So we're now doing 2020 stickers. So I have to do all the paperwork for 500 pieces of equipment, turn it all into the city. The city has to approve it, and then we have to go through and have the city inspect the vehicles, brake lights, reverse lights, horns, all that. Yeah, it's a task.
How many months does that take?
We're supposed to have it done by the end of this month. Yeah, so
How many have you done?
Hey, Chad.
I think we've got we just took a new shipment of 7 Cushmans, so including the 7 new Cushmans, I think we maybe have 25 left. So we're doing pretty good.
Hey, Chad. Good luck with that.
Yeah,
good luck with that.
Well, my boss was like, because last year was just a complete fiasco. The contract company that was taking care of the equipment, quote unquote, they didn't look at the brake lights, didn't look at the horns. They pretty much just spun a filter through oil in it and shipped it out. So when we were doing the PMs, I mean, we were constantly having huge breakdowns with these PMs or seeing big problems with them. So the beginning of last year was really tough because I wasn't in control of all the paperwork, so I had no idea what was going on. We'd get stuff, we didn't finish our BCAD stickers last year until like July.
Whoa!
So, yeah, it was a mess last year. So this year I said, I'm taking it over. We're going to be the ones doing it because we end up doing it in the end anyway. So might as well just do it.
Simplify, save your money.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I take care of everything. I have to talk to Napa. We have our own Napa that's just for our company. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're actually located in the shop of Orlando. Same in Denver. They have their own Napa located in the shop. So you can just walk right up to them and say, hey, I need this part.
You know, I thought I saw like just rows and rows of shelves with a bunch of Napa parts on them. I didn't know that's what that was.
Yeah, it's an IBS Napa, and it's just for us.
Wow.
So all the big shops have it. Us small shops, they have to co-mat all of our parts from Orlando to us.
So how does that happen? Like, how close are you guys to Orlando?
It's only like a 3-hour drive, I think. Not even, maybe 3-hour drive to
So
Orlando.
do they fly the parts to you guys?
Yeah, they fly everything to us. They either fly it or FedEx it.
That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know that's their business. That's what they're doing. So they put it on where they can. But it's like, oh, you need an oil filter for this random old piece of shit? I'll just fly you one. Don't worry about it.
Yep. Yeah, that's what co-mat means is company material. Yeah. So they'll just throw it on one of the planes that's going from there to there, and it'll come to the shop.
Yep. Well, usually we have to go down to cargo, and they put big GSC stickers on all of our stuff. So we go down there and look. Oh, do we got anything today? Oh yeah, grab it and go back to the shop with it.
That's cool.
So every month we get a list of at least 90 pieces of equipment that we have to do PMs on, and we have to complete those by the end of the month. So I have to go through and order all the filters for it, and then.
Oh, hey, that's a good way to do it. Other than, oh man, we're out of this filter.
Yeah.
You have them there for the month.
Yeah, we order it, then they package it and put the stickers on it of what unit it is. So then I just put it on the shelf, and you just go over and grab it.
Dude, that's awesome.
Seems amazing.
It made it a lot simpler.
I love that idea.
Why hasn't anyone thought of that before?
What I need.
How many did Frontier have a month? Do you remember?
Frontier, I think, had more because you got to remember Frontier had all of A Concourse at one time. So they had a whole lot more equipment than when they went down to that 6 gates, I think it was 6 or 8 gates when we were working there. They had like 20 gates before when they were big time. And so they had all the equipment still for those 20 gates.
Yeah.
And remember, we had a whole lot of tugs parked out there in the boneyard.
Man, I don't even know how many tugs they had out there.
Yeah, they had so many.
I
don't even know what the count. I mean, Swissport, they made a hell of a deal, $2 million for all that equipment. Tell you what, that was a hell of a deal because it was worth $5-6 million easy.
What are those new? $60,000.
Ag tug is $60,000. Belt loader is $120,000.
Holy shit! I am in the wrong business.
They have a new belt loader out that's called Power Stow. So it has a special head on it. When you drop it down onto the plane, it self-levels, and then it has a a conveyor that comes out and snakes into the plane.
What?
And then they have rollers, and each roller has a motor inside of it. And then you can just pop the bag on there, and it'll whoop, right to the person that's inside the plane.
What?
Yeah. Power stores are $250,000 a unit.
Just
Oh my
wait
God.
till you got to go and rebuild that thing, Chad.
Oh,
That's gonna be fun.
Dude, you don't even know. The rollers for it are $500 a piece. They don't make a brand new anymore. You have to send the old ones in so they can rebuild them. But it's still $500 a pop to replace the rollers, and they go up constantly.
There's got to be at least 30 rollers on a regular one, right?
These are crazy rollers. You got to look up Power Stow on Google.
Put a video.
I'll put a picture or video right here.
Yeah. They're black conical rollers is what we call them, because they're cone shaped and they cone into the middle to keep all the bags and stuff inside the track.
That's smart.
Yeah. And in each one of them they have a motor, electric motor. So they're pretty cool. Yeah, those are $250,000, and then we have this other thing called a super tug. It's a giant pushback that you drive underneath the plane, front tire. It has gates that close, and then it scoops up the plane, picks up the front end off the ground, and then you can drive it around to where you need to take it.
Okay, I've seen one of those. They go fast too, right?
Yeah, no, well, some of them do. You can clock them a little faster. Ours are only allowed to go 15 miles an hour. So
15 miles an hour moving a plane is pretty fast.
I've seen them pull planes in from out in the runway with them.
Yeah.
Before.
Those are $500,000 piece of equipment.
So, well, yeah, let's say that Frontier had 100 tugs. And if they were brand new, call it 60,000. That's still $6 million, and they had more than $6 million.
Yeah.
In new tugs, they had more than 100 of them.
Well, you saw the tugs of my company while you were at Frontier, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, when I was at
the newer stuff.
When I was at Swissport and Southwest was right next to us, they got a bunch of new ones. And new tugs. They had the cabs and the LED lights and all that.
Yep. They're a lot different than those tall. We call the ones that Frontier had. We call them tall boys.
Okay.
So they're a lot different than the tall boys. The trannies don't come out from the bottom. You got to pull them from inside the cab.
Oh my God.
They have 4-cylinder. Out in Denver, they had 4-cylinder gas Ford motors. Out here, we have 4-cylinder Deutz motors.
Oh yeah.
So everything we have out here is pretty much Deutz or Cummins.
So diesel. Deutz is diesel for sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How you guys liking those Deutz motors?
They're a pretty hardy motor. We just had, this month has been rough on us. So we had one Deutz motor that we replaced. Memo is the people that rebuild them. Mm-hmm. Memo did a bad rebuild job, so we had to replace it again. And then we had another one that just smoked out, blowing oil out the tailpipe. So we're doing a motor on that. And then one of those tall boys that has that 6-cylinder gas motor, we're ripping that out, and we're actually doing these Kubota retrofits on it.
Is it a 3-cylinder Kubota?
It is a 4-cylinder Kubota that's brand new, and you can actually swap the head out, and you can turn it into natural gas, or diesel. Swapping the head.
Diesel? Wow.
Yeah.
They're bigger than those ones we were testing, though, Chad?
Yeah, there's a 4-cylinder.
But same size, just add 1 cylinder, kind of?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
So those are pretty cool. I mean, they come in a whole package. So you have the engine, transmission already together on a frame. You gut the tug out, throw your whole package in, bolt it down to the frame of the tug, and then install new wiring.
Nice.
So it's pretty much plug and play. It's pretty cool.
Huh.
So we got one of those in the shop that we're doing right now. And then I just had a Provo truck motor took a crap. So we got to do a V10 Ford motor on a Provo truck.
No, those V10s are excellent.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful engines.
We got my company gave up on diesels on the 6.7, so we got like 3 or 4 years here of V10s that are already having issues when they're brand new.
The good old cams are taking a crap, I bet.
Cams are going out on them. I don't know. We haven't pulled it yet. They've all luckily been under warranty still, but
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, do you guys have like a heavy check and a light check when you're doing PMs or preventive maintenance, oil changes?
a heavy check and a light check.
We
You're
have an
lucky
A and a
it
B.
gets oil change.
We
We have
have
an
an A
AA
and
and a BB.
we have an A and a B, and the A is just pretty much change the oil, look it over lightly, and the B is look it over heavy. And on our B checks for the Provo trucks, now we have to take the valve covers off to look at the cams because the roller rockers are dropping the rollers,
Yep.
and the cams are just riding on the rocker itself.
Oh.
So we got to make sure the cams are okay before we ship it back out.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, our A is a grease job, and our B is an oil change. And like we have C, D, E, and F.
Wow.
Which
That's a lot.
turn into like basically just like a coolant flush, a tranny flush, diff service, and something else. I don't know. It's an antique system, like, and the patrols do all the oil changes. I mean the the operators, the patrol level, they do their oil changes and stuff, and then we get to see them usually once a year for annual DOT, a PM. They don't have a good system. It sucks. You basically plug check everything and call it a day because our stuff just doesn't see hours.
Well, it's pretty much city work, isn't it? You're working for the city, aren't you? Oh, sorry.
Fair, but yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Couple levels up. Not the city, not the county, but the great people of the state I reside in.
Yeah.
At Frontier, we had A, AA, and C, or something like. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. I think. I don't know why.
Double A and C.
A. Yeah.
Like A was just like an oil change, check the fluids. B was a little bit more, and then C was like, fuck, I don't even.
It was a heavy check.
I don't even remember. Like there
You're
was.
You're supposed to pull like the front bearings off, repack them.
Oh yeah, repack the bearings. That was the C.
Redo the transmission fluid and filters. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what the C was.
We plug check stuff, and if it looks okay, we don't do anything.
That's usually what we do.
Universal fluids for everything, which I know it says it's okay for everything, but I don't believe it. Like universal coolant, universal motor oil. Like, no, you can't just put whatever slippery into the engine anymore. It's not how it works.
Yeah, we actually had an issue with that with our tugs because they were saying, okay, you got a universal coolant, you can put it into all these units. Well, the first batch of tugs that we have that are older ones, they had green coolant in it. And that universal stuff was making it coagulate.
Yep.
So we had to drain the green coolant and then put the universal stuff in.
Yep.
Was that enough? Draining it? Did that get enough green out?
Yeah, I got enough green. We did drain, and then we actually had to put air into the system and blow whatever we could out. So try to get as much out as we could.
Yeah.
I heard of that happening with green and Dex Cool when that came out, the orange.
Yeah.
Like big time. Like turned into mud.
If you're lucky, it was just mud.
Yeah.
Man, I worked at O'Reilly's when that happened. That was the most fun job I ever had.
Corey's worked at so many, like, if you're a car guy, he's worked at all these places that you're just kind of like, what? Corey worked at J.C. Whitney. Yeah.
J.C. Whitney's in Illinois, like 40 miles from where I grew up.
Yep.
So.
Just kind of all sorts of fun places like that.
Yeah, I've worked at a lot of cool places. Problem is the pay at all of them was just bad. The Furniture Row was the most money I've ever made. Actually, I might make more now. The way that they do their bonus thing. So I make like $3,000 less now than I made there a year, like by hourly. But we get a bonus based on our percentage of billable hours. So it has a potential to be more.
Yeah.
And I haven't worked there.
Helping.
I haven't worked there for a full year yet, so I don't even know if it's more or less or.
Now it's going to work out. Yeah. I tell you, mine is golden ticket for a mechanic. You're not flat rate. You just paid by the hour. And
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Fleet work is awesome.
Yeah.
I've done flat rate. I've done salary. I've done everything. Fleet work. I show up. I do 8 and gate, and I go home. Like, I was super salty when I got off the service truck last year, and now I'm like, this is great. I show up. I work 8 hours. As long as I look busy, nobody says a word to me. Nobody's like, hey, you work harder. They're like, oh, hey, you did something. Congrats. We have some really stupid and slow people in our shop that it's just like lights are on and nobody's home. So they're like, hey, good enough, man. You did something today.
Good job.
Yay,
It's
thank
thing
you.
I've ever been a part of. But one day they're going to pay me to stay home and give me a pension. So
Yeah, oh man, I thought about it too. I don't know.
Corey needs to come down here and work with me. Imagine all the fun we'd have. It'd be awesome.
Is it worth 30 years of something I don't like to do? 30 years to have the pension?
We're getting some really cool people in the shop. There's this dude named Craig. He's awesome. He's kind of my buddy. He's our age. He knows a lot. He knows more than I probably will ever know. He's done a lot of field work. Grew up in it. He's incredibly smart. Just good. And he's my age. Like within a week of him being there, he's like, so these people are worthless. This guy's a fuck off, and this guy's awesome. And I'm like, yep, you got it. You're good. You'll be fine. It is what you make of it. I really hated it for like 6 months earlier this year. I fucking hated it. I was gonna quit in an instant. And now I go in, I just do my 8 hours, have fun with what I can, and laugh it off. And they're going to pay me when I'm 57, I can retire with a full pension, which is 75% of my pay of my highest 5 years. So they take your highest 5 grossing years, average that out, and you get 75% of that.
Nice.
Until you die.
That's nice.
So,
that's really nice.
It's not like 401k, like, hey, you have $500,000. Good luck, shithead. It's like, hey, you're going to get this much a month, plus cost of living every year, which is 3 to 5%, I think.
Ooh.
That's the state. That's what I get every year now. I get cost of living from the state from the bosses. And I get cost of living. They'll give me a pension, 3 to 5% cost of living. My house will be paid off if I stay here. If I move, I'll figure it all out, have it all set up so that when I leave the company, my bills are pretty much nothing, and they'll cut me a check every year or every month.
Sounds like a good deal.
It's not a bad gig. It doesn't pay probably. I don't think it pays nearly as much as what Chad's making. But for Durango, it's one of the better paying mechanics jobs without getting on a service truck and traveling. It is the best in Durango without being on a service truck and traveling.
Yeah, see, ours, we have to do the 401k thing, but we get company pay, it matches 10%. So that's not a bad deal either.
Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah.
10%?
10%. So I put 10% in every paycheck.
Wow.
And they match that dollar to dollar?
Dollar to dollar.
Wow.
Yeah.
You do not see that anymore. Most places are like 3%.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad, he works for a Fortune 500 company, and he only gets 6%.
Wow.
Wow.
Man, everything I hear about them is just like, it sounds like the best company ever to work for.
It really is.
I don't know if you know that Laura's mom is like the flight attendant supervisor now.
Oh, is she a supervisor now?
Yeah, for Southwest.
Yeah, is she out there in Denver still, or did she have to relocate?
She's here. I think she's supervisor. I think that's what. Yeah.
For like all of that?
No, probably just Denver. So we just had a lady that's in training. She's transferring to Hawaii to do the same job as supervisor for top end.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And it's pretty, I mean, it's super nice, like, moving down here, because it was a new position, they paid for the whole move. They came in, packed me up, put it on the truck, and drove the truck down here for me and unloaded everything. And it was all paid for.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that, where they came and they repacked the boxes by themselves or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had boxes packed, and they unpacked them and repacked them themselves.
Man, that was one thing I was holding out for with Penske, because they own Penske, right? Penske has moving trucks, rental trucks.
Yeah.
You're like,
I thought
want
they were
a free moving truck to drive.
I thought they were gonna do that, and then it sounded like Gibbs wasn't gonna offer anything, so I would have had to pay for the move. But that's kind of what I was holding out for, was a little bit of a raise and then help with moving at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Durango Motors paid for my first U-Haul. We did 2 U-Hauls, so I did like a pre-run with my toolbox and a bunch of other random shit. And then I did, like, after we sold the house, I did a main run out here with a big U-Haul. They paid me like $600. Paid for the truck.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they paid for gas and food and hotels too. So
Holy crap, man!
yeah, it was an awesome move. Yeah, but minus the 4-day drive with kids and 2 cats and 2 dogs.
Of course,
kid,
get a
cats.
job there.
I had that interview before. Maybe it was before I started at Swissport. I went in and I don't know. There were like freaking 20 people there or something. They were asking me all these questions, and then I had to like draw out a parallel and a series batteries on the board, like full wiring diagram with symbols and everything.
Did we lose Chad? I feel like we lost Chad.
Hey, Chad, you still here?
Uh-oh.
At first, I thought he was frozen, but then I thought I saw Annika move back there, and then I was like, no, he's still here.
We definitely lost Chad. Uh-oh.
I kicked my power cord underneath my damn computer.
So I could have swore, like I was talking, and I could have swore I saw you move because it just froze. And then
really?
I could have swore I saw Annika move. And then after,
I pushed back, and then I kicked the damn power cord, and it fell out right out of the fucking wall. Internet, everything went down.
And then after too much time went by, I was thinking maybe he's frozen, and then he's like, "Hey, stop talking."
I was like, hold on, don't tell your story until we get Chad back.
Where did I leave off for you?
You were just saying you went to the interview.
Okay, I went to the interview, and there were like 20 people around this table, and they were all asking me questions. And then I had to go to the whiteboard, and I had to draw series and parallel batteries for golf carts for like, what is it,
36 volts?
Yeah, 36 volts, and I did it right, and then they were kind of like, they were just looking at me like blankly, but I did it right. And then I looked back at it again, so I don't know. I felt like that was something I shouldn't have, like, doubted myself. I should have been like, yep, that's right.
Yeah, it's a very intimidating interview process. I will have to say that.
And then I did.
It's all because of legal. So they don't want to say the wrong thing, so they have HR there. They also want to have 3 managers there that aren't in that city. That way they're not showing favoritism. So all 3 of them have to agree on one guy. So that's why they had so many people there.
Ours are very similar to that. There's like a panel, and they have this 10 questions that you get 20 minutes to like write your notes on for everything, and then they ask them, and it's really awkward. And they like, okay, number 1. Then they just sit there and stare at you, and you're like, I'll just read the question and tell you my answer then. Hey, why does a Ford suck balls? Because it's a goddamn Ford, that's why.
The answer is none of the above.
I really thought you got hired because you were in our system and everything. Remember where I texted you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I texted you because you were in our system. So we have a system called EBIS, and that's where all of our tickets are and everything. And I pulled up EBIS one day and I hit C and I see his name right there, Corey Schallhorn. I'm like, wait, what? Did he get hired? So I texted him. I was like, did Southwest call you back? Are you hired? And you were like, no, I haven't gotten a phone call or anything.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah. And then I went and talked to my supervisor and he's like, no, we didn't hire him. I was like, well, he's in EBIS. And they go, oh, shit. So I think you were about to get hired and then somebody else just got in. Yeah.
Probably the same thing that happened at Lockheed Martin where they're like, yeah, you definitely got the job. Nah, never mind.
Never mind.
I'm planning on going back on there because they've got like thousands of jobs. And 90% of them are engineering degrees and aerospace degrees. And if there was freaking like AI robotics and crap like that, and I'm like, that's what I want to do. Cybernetics, that's what it said. But
they got some crazy stuff.
I applied for 20 jobs there, and one was welding, one was painting, other ones were just like inspection, quality control, and crap like that. I did get like the second day I started my job I work at now, I got a call and I applied for, it was called Crater and Packer, where they build these boxes to store or ship things in, and they build them custom for whatever piece of equipment it is. So probably a lot of wood cutting and nailing and crap like that. And I'd been working at this new job for 2 days, and I'm like, I got to give these people a chance. I just started here 2 days ago, so I turned that one down, but I probably shouldn't have.
It probably would have been a cool position.
He wanted me to.
I like wood.
Shit.
He wanted me to write an essay, maybe not an essay. Anyway, he wanted me to write an essay about like why I would be a good fit for like my skills on measuring and building. I don't even remember what words. It was something like, it's like, are you kidding me? I don't want to do this crap.
I just got out of freaking school.
I can measure and I can run a freaking chop saw. I can use a hammer. Yeah. So I got.
Yeah, I really thought you got in at Southwest. I was bummed when they said no, we didn't hire him. I was like, what? God damn it!
Because
I was rooting for you the whole time.
It's weird. Something as simple as that. If I would have gotten that job, it would have changed my life completely. I probably wouldn't have been looking for jobs because I hated my job, and wouldn't have found.
You'd hate it, but you would hate it less just because of the pay.
Yeah. Well, the pay was going to be more too.
It's a lot more now that we signed a new contract too.
Well, back then,
more.
Back then, the starting pay was
$23 an hour.
Tiny bit more than Frontier's top out pay was.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, the starting pay was $23 an hour before we signed a contract.
And
now it's like $28.
Top out was like $38 an hour or something like that.
And now it's $50.
Oh. 50? God damn.
Chad, how many openings do you have down there?
All right.
I don't know. We might be getting a second shift. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, the airport is expanding.
All right. I'm going to tell Laura I'm moving.
Oh, where'd Corey go?
Corey's like, I'm out.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. Our union is very good.
Yeah, that's a strong union, man.
Yeah, very strong.
My union
And then
sucked.
we also got a ratification check once the agreement was signed as well. So that's how we could purchase this house.
Yeah, you get big down payment, big little extra. Here you go.
Yeah, definitely. So that definitely helped out.
Hell yeah.
I thought I was going to have to spend the whole thing on the move, and then they're like, oh, no, we're going to pay for your move. I was like, even better.
Let's go.
Your toolbox alone.
Yeah, my toolbox. Can you imagine that freight charge? I FedExed that. My toolbox got FedExed.
What?
You FedEx.
Yeah.
That must have been like 20 grand.
I had to build a crate for it and everything. It was crazy.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I tried going over there. I just put it on a pallet, secured it to a pallet, right? And then I saran wrapped it and took it over there. And they're like, no, you got to build a box, man. You got to box this thing in. So then I had to go back to the hardware store. They paid for all the wood. And then I had to build a box around I had to do it in like 3 pieces.
Wow.
So my cart, my side locker, and then my main box.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's pretty good right there, tell you what.
I still have the wood in my garage. I use the plywood for projects around the house.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah, I'll
Lord.
keep this wood, and it was free. Yeah, I built an end table out of it. But yeah, it's definitely a life-changing job. The crazy thing is that I could go somewhere. I mean, inside the company, if I don't want to wrench anymore, say, I could go elsewhere inside the company. So I could go to training, or I could go to ramp. I could go to anything I really want, you know. So, and there's always they like to hire within. So when our regional managers, which are the bigwigs, they're getting old. They're getting ready to retire. So that means those positions are going to open. It's just going to kind of flood down. So managers are going to move to regionals, and then there's going to be open managers positions. Supervisors are going to move to managers, and then leads can go into supervisors. So there's a lot of movement and ways to even grow bigger in the company.
That's awesome.
It's really cool.
How do you like living there as far as like the heat and the humidity and bugs and crap like that?
Snakes now.
The biggest thing is the heat. So our shop is not AC'd. I wish it was, but it's not.
Oh, fuck that.
We just have fans. We have 3 of those big ass fans. I don't know if seen those.
Yeah,
Giant
yeah.
ceiling fans. We have 3 of those. We have on each. So our shop is actually a loading dock, an old loading dock building. One of the loading docks, we just put a ramp, basically a concrete ramp, and that's how we get in the shop.
Okay.
So each bay door, we put a fan in there, another big ass fan, but the tubular ones. So we have air blowing in, and then we open the doors on the other side to kind of get a cross breeze. But it's still like a toaster oven in there, man. You get temperatures up in the 120s out here, and it's killer. But thankfully, the office and the break room, they do have AC, so we take breaks quite often.
Yeah, I'd be night shift. I'll take night shift tonight.
Yeah.
Still degrees, but it's cooler.
Yeah, I got 2 thoughts now. How do you do that with one shift? Does it's not as big of an airport as DIA, I guess. I'm guessing.
So DIA, they're pushing almost 300 flights a day. We're in the off season, 90 flights a day. During spring break, we're at like 120. And we're actually now ramping up to be 100 all the time, if not 100 or more all the time. So like I said, it's expanding out here. We have 12 gates out here. Where in like Denver, they have like 30 gates.
So, they got all of C
concourse, besides maybe 1 gate. But yeah, we only have 12 gates out here, so they have a mathematical way of determining how many mechanics need to go into a place. So right now they say it's supposed to be 75 pieces of equipment per mechanic, and that's how many mechanics you need in there. Right now, we are currently in Fort Lauderdale working at 100 pieces of equipment per mechanic. So we're doing 25% more of the work than all the other shops. So we're actually we won shop of the quarter, second quarter last year. I got mechanic of the quarter for third quarter or first quarter, and then one of my other guys got mechanic of the quarter for small shops from the third quarter. So they're definitely seeing that we're doing stuff out here and we're taking care of business.
And how many mechanics are in your shop?
I only have 5 guys, including me.
Including you?
Including me.
Well, yeah. My shop, there's 4 people, including me, and then there's the manager guy that talks to customers that come in and does that kind of crap. But we don't have AC either. We do have the shop's kind of divided. You can shut a door and have, this is where the body work and stuff is done, and then the paint booth's on the other side. There's 3 swamp coolers in the roof on the body shop side. The paint side, there's 2 of them. So, man, it's so hot and humid in there. I brought in a thermometer. I put it on my toolbox, and I think it only got up to 85 or something, but it was like 80% humidity though too, because of the swamp coolers. But
yeah, and that's the thing is, like in Denver, we had swamp coolers on a cart. So they were just normal like house swamp coolers that we put a jug of water on, and you could push them around to where you work. But out here, a swamp cooler does you no good because it's already like 80% humidity.
yeah.
The swamp cooler does nothing. So we're thinking about, there's these other fans, they're oscillating fans that are kind of like swamp coolers, but they mist.
Oh, yeah.
We're thinking about getting those for the shop because it's seriously a toaster oven in there.
Yeah, like we don't have AC, but I also live in a high valley. It's a little different. Like a hot day is 90.
Yeah, exactly. I love that when I lived up in Steamboat. That was amazing. The summers were freaking awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd get in the
other day.
It was what? Sorry.
50 degrees.
50
degrees. Beautiful. It was awesome.
We got 60 mile an hour winds today.
During the winter, it can get down to 40 degrees.
Whoa, all the way down to 40? That's amazing.
It's freaking awesome. We're outside in t-shirts and shorts, and everybody's cold in their parkas and
Barca.
Boots with the fur.
Yeah. Corey, we gotta get Barca on here in a parka.
Hey, yeah, sure, eh?
Hey.
Yeah, I was kind of.
He's awesome.
I was kind of thinking about how to do that and have some of the guys I went to college with. See if they want to do it too. And we could have you back on another time.
Yeah, anytime, guys.
Because like this, for talking to people you don't get to talk to very often, it's not very much time. But for someone to watch this whole thing, it gets to be a lot of time. On that perspective.
Yeah.
And I kind of got to pee, and I was like, I hate to call it pee break if we're going to be done.
That's Corey code for I'm tired and I want to edit this and go to bed.
Well, yeah, I'm going to be editing this. It's 9:00 here, so I'll probably be up.
11 o'clock here.
My problem is I'll work on this and I'll be like, all right, well, not this, but I'll be down here working and I'll be like, all right, it's midnight or it's 11:30. I should go to bed at midnight, right? So then I'll be like, all right, I'm going to play this game for a half hour. I haven't played this game for like 2 weeks. And then I'm playing the game and I'm like, fuck, it's 4:00. What the hell?
That's what happens to me when I play Minecraft. I go into like Minecraft time and it's fucking 6:00 in the morning. What the hell?
I could be working an hour. Fuck.
I built a little house.
So like I'll get like 3 or 4 hours of sleep on the weekends, like Friday and Saturday night.
I'm a night owl, and I have to get up at 6:30 in the morning, and I constantly go to bed at 12 o'clock because I'm just the way I am.
You have to get up at
5:30 to be at work at 6:30.
I worked second so long at SGS. I still want to work second shift. I don't want to work mornings.
Man, that was so. I feel like that made my whole life easier. I get off work at midnight, and then stay up till 4, and then you sleep from 4 till noon.
Yep.
And then I would go to work at 1:30 or something, but like I would just wake up at 11 to noon anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
It was so.
I worked graveyards in Denver, and that's the way it was. We got off at 6:30 in the morning. I go home, go to bed, wake up around 12, and then like it was perfect because the kid was at school while I'm sleeping, and then I get to wake up, have dinner with my family, put him to bed, and then I'm back to work while he's sleeping.
Yeah,
it was beautiful. I loved it.
It's just like so much. It's like there was less resistance that way. The only problem was that, like, on the weekends, everybody wanted to do stuff during the day when I got off work at midnight.
Yeah.
But
you could party all night on Saturday night. Woo.
well, the other cool thing about it is I usually had like Monday off.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know what? I got Friday, Saturday, Sunday off for a little while.
Well,
Yeah.
see, with my company, there's this thing called day trading. So if I'm working graveyards and I have all graveyard people had Saturday, Sunday off. If somebody on second shift had Saturday, Sunday off, we could day trade. So I would work a double, and a single, and then I'm off until my next. So I'd work 3 days, off 4 days. Work 3 days, off 4 days.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that was awesome. And then you could do even more. You could do a double off, or double off, and then 3 more doubles, and then you're off for 7 days.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the 30 doubles in a row, that wears you out pretty quick.
Yeah, I remember my dad doing that, where every month he'd have 7 days off in a row.
Yeah.
Man, the job that I quit to go to Wyotech, it was at a CNC shop, and I was running a CNC machine, and we worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday from 7 to 7. And then since we worked the weekend, they just automatically gave us an extra 10 hours.
Oh.
So I got paid for 46 hours for working 36. But there was also a Monday through Thursday shift, and those guys didn't get extra. They got screwed, but they got the weekends off.
Yeah.
Man, it was so good. So then I had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off. And I was like, nope, I'm going to go to Wyotech and be a mechanic.
I'm going to go spend all this money I don't have and be a mechanic for a living.
Good job, stupid. Well, recently I've been looking to try to go take computer programming classes, and that's just not going to happen anymore. There's too much crap going on in my life.
Yeah.
It's an hour drive in traffic to get from Aurora to Littleton in the morning, and it's an hour drive back. So I work 9 hours because we got a 1 hour lunch.
Well, don't they have something at like Pickens Tech that you can go do?
Yeah, well, I was going to do online classes, so I was even going to do them from the computer, but I can't, they have specific times, like, we're having a lecture, get on the thing at this time, and I just can't do that, because I get off at 5, I don't get home till 6, and I got to get up at 6.
What are you doing, Corey?
That's why I don't understand how people can do like 2 or 3 jobs. I couldn't do that. I like my free time.
Yeah. That sucks. Don't do that.
I definitely had way more time to do YouTube stuff working at Furniture Row. And there you didn't know when you were going to get off. If they were going to load the car, you stayed there till the car was ready to be loaded. And we were salary, so we weren't getting paid.
But didn't you have off during the off season or whatever too?
The shop was closed the week of Thanksgiving, and then after that to the beginning of the year, there's Christmas and New Year's, so they kind of just give you some extra days off here and there. And then New Year's to February, which was when Daytona was.
Assholes love those.
Well, we would paint track equipment and get that crap all fixed up. And then 2 weeks before Daytona, they'd bring us a car. So then we were busting ass. Well, especially when we had 77 and 78, because you had to build 3 cars because there's a Clash, which is before Daytona. And then there's
Speed Weeks.
The other one.
Gatorade Duels.
The Duels. And then there's Daytona. So you definitely want to have a backup car for Daytona. So if you don't crash any, you're good. So we had to build 3 cars for the 77 and 3 for the 78.
Oh, jeez.
6 race cars for the week of Daytona. And they didn't hire really many extra people.
No.
So it was nothing to do for 2 months, and then hurry up and build 6 cars. They have to be done today.
And they need to be the most perfect cars you're going to build all season.
Yeah, but I remember my manager saying, like, this car is going to be on its roof next week anyway, so whatever.
Make it black.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
You definitely want to have a flat wrap on your race car. You don't want a shiny one because it's harder to see the body.
The dents and oh yeah.
Oh
the
man,
dents and scratches kind of fade in. Well, this was cool. Yeah, anytime you guys want me to come on, I'm more than welcome to do it.
Yeah, well, I feel like we should have you.
Invite.
Like we should do it again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're cutting it off and we got more to talk about, but we can't really go anymore.
Yeah, we got a long day, but awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I'll have to see when we can do it again. I want to see if we can get a couple of the other guys we went to school with, or
sure.
maybe even I don't know. Anyway,
We'll figure it out.
Well, I guess I gotta say good luck with that.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
3, 2, 1.